So what could cause lush green potato foliage to go from this to this, and chunky juicy potato tubers to go from this to this in a matter of days? Yeah, you guessed it. Potato blight. And my potatoes have it again. Now this is a sad and sorry sight, isn't it? These are the Charlottes and the Maris pears which I had planted sometime in August, and I was hoping to harvest for Christmas dinner. But you can see that the blight has had other ideas. This one brave home you can see the blight on the leaf there. That's hanging in, but they all have to go. Now this is the homes cut down. There's also a suggestion which you'll come across where once you cut the homes down, to leave the potatoes in the soil for a few days or maybe even some weeks before you harvest. I couldn't do that because I'd noticed that the tubers were infected as well, so I needed to get everything out. Now it can be hard to tell what exactly ails a potato because of different deficiencies and over and under watering and everything else, but that's what blight looks like on the leaf. And the telltale mark is that halo around the dark spot. If you see that, it's blight. Now, this was kind of doubly disappointing because I was looking forward to seeing how the tubers managed just in wood chip. And I'm going to definitely run this experiment again next year, because there's a few things that I noticed with the wood chip, which would definitely makes me think you can grow potatoes quite well in just wood chip. Number one is the water issue. I haven't watered these at all. The water they've got is just from rain, and in periods when it was dry, where other containers you could see the dryness on the top, and in fact if you put your hand down you could feel the dryness. This was never the case with the wood chip. The wood chip retained the moisture, and then obviously slowly releases it. It's available there for the roots. The second thing is the structure of the wood chip means that there's lots of air getting through, so that makes it a very healthy environment for the roots to be growing in. They're not waterlogged, they're not oversaturated, it's not an anaerobic environment, there's nothing compacted. So they've got lots of air, and of course that air is encouraging lots of microbes. And that's the next thing that I noticed, is that this wood chip was warm to the touch as I went further down with my hand, down to where the root level was. And that suggests to me that there's composting going on. And of course that composting is releasing energy in the form of heat. It's never going to reach 70 degrees, it's a 35 litre container, but it was still warm to the touch. Now one of the issues with container gardening is heat loss and soil temperature, and that doesn't strike me as something that would be an issue growing in the wood chip. Another point is the containers, the 35 litre container, you can throw them around with 2 fingers on one hand. They are so light in comparison to the containers which have compost and soil in them. And the final thing I noticed was all of the fungi, the strands of fungi growing, which has got to be good for the roots. So all in all, there seems to be an awful lot of pluses to growing potatoes in wood chip. The pity is I just never got to see what the tubers looked like after 100 days or 110 days. You can see some of them are okay, some are a dead loss. They never grew to be any bigger than what would be a small new potato size, and that was obviously because from about day 30 I've actually been hacking away at the homes, in, like I said, in the vain hope of containing the blight, but it was never to be. And then the homes went, so so I wasn't really expecting any great things from these tubers. Now that all looks like doom and gloom, but actually it's not entirely bad news, all bad news, because I did manage to get a couple of pound of quite small potatoes, which if I can get them to store, hopefully they haven't got blight, if I can get them to store well enough, we may be able to have some of them for Christmas dinner, and at the very least they'll make a very nice potato salad at some point over the Christmas season. So not a dead loss. I was really impressed with the wood chip, and I really want to give this a go again when the next lot of seed potatoes turn up next year. That's it. Thanks for watching. 2 lots of potatoes this year, 2 lots of blight, hoping for a better year next year. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video, as they say. Bye for now. Oh, I almost forgot. This is what I got out of 6 of the containers, and I got the same amount roughly from the last lot of containers.